What do high net worth individuals do to minimize their taxes? We've all heard that they pay a lower tax rate than the average American, and that's probably true for a lot of them. One way they do that is by borrowing against their assets instead of withdrawing their assets. Most retirees, you retire, you're withdrawing 3, 4, 5+% of your assets for your lifestyle, for your retirement income. If you are ultra high net worth, you don't need 3, 4, 5% of your assets. You might only take 1 or 2%. And that opens up the opportunity that it makes sense to borrow against your assets instead of withdrawing your assets. If you were borrowing 5% a year, that would be too risky and you shouldn't do it. But if you're at 1% or potentially 2%, it makes a lot more sense to borrow against your high net worth as opposed to withdrawing it. Withdrawing it probably usually incurs a tax liability. Borrowing against it, there's no tax implications. So now you have income to live on that is from borrowed dollars, and therefore you don't pay any taxes on that portion. You probably have other things that have earned income and are taxable events, but simply this withdrawal turns into a borrowed dollars, and now your lifestyle is funded at a tax-free level. Some important criteria that anybody can use to do this is, yes, your withdrawals need to be 1 to 2% of your net worth. You shouldn't have a lot of debt to start with when you start this process. And the return that your net worth, your assets, your investable assets are going to earn needs to be higher than the inflation rate and your withdrawal rate combined. So if inflation is 3% and you're withdrawing 1%, you better be earning at least 4% on your money each year so that you aren't going backwards. And then it becomes very sustainable and long-term. If your withdrawal rate's high, or if your interest rate on those loans is high, then it's not a great idea. If the interest rate's high, you need to have your investments, your assets, earning more than the borrowed rate. So if you're earning 5% on your money, I don't want to see your interest rate at 6, 7%. That's unacceptable. You have to have a positive spread in those numbers. I'm Justin Struble. For more tips on how to save money and act like you're ultra wealthy without being ultra wealthy and doing it financially responsible, give me a call, DM me. I'd love to have a conversation. I'm Justin Struble with BSG Advisors. I'm not a broker. I'm a fixer.